welcome to Quick Unpick. How are you all? Happy Sunday. I hope it's warmer there than it is here. It's absolutely freezing. Right, let's get Hayley Jane. Okay, right, let's start. Yay! Hi,
hello.
I just said it's going to work absolutely beautifully. I can feel it, and you nailed it.
Oh, thank goodness. I've just been trying to get my husband to figure out the AirPods for me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I had that the first time I put them in, and I didn't realise the whole thing would have paused while I was sorting it out. And my husband was there going, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Honestly, I'm cursed when it comes to technology.
Yeah, me
Absolutely
too.
cursed.
How are you doing anyway? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm all right. It is absolutely freezing in here. I'm in like my winter woolies, and I've just got my heater on at full volume. But yeah,
It's so cold. I got a tan. I was sat in the garden last Sunday. I got tan lines.
I know, it's
What?
so weird. And have you had snow this week?
A tiny bit, more like sleet. Just icy rain.
Like, it was
Rubbish.
just so weird. I was doing a photo shoot on Friday, and we were all set up ready to go, and it was beautiful sun, and it just literally started snowing. It was so bizarre. I've never come across anything like it.
No, the day of all seasons.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I'm so good to see your face.
It's so good to see yours.
Give me a big hug. And so what I really want to know, and why I really started Quick Unpick, is what have you been up to the last couple of years?
Last couple of years, just surviving.
Yeah.
No, the business has gone really well. We've been really lucky with everybody sort of wanting to fund their hobby during lockdown and everything. So I'm eternally grateful for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been crazy. We've moved into a bigger studio, which has been amazing, and yeah, just trying to grow the business. I can't even remember now.
Well, I'm really interested in how pandemics affected your business, because I kind of feel that craft actually had a bit of a moment during it, and something, your subscription boxes are so beautiful and people love them so much, and so I was interested to see whether you had much of an effect, or how it has changed things for you.
Yeah, definitely. So that first month was absolutely just nuts, with everybody going into lockdown and all the suppliers closing. And trying to prepare and cut all the fabric at home with a 2-year-old, during nap time and everything, was just bizarre. Such a strange situation.
I hear you.
Our suppliers, where we get our fat quarters from, closed the week before they were due to send the fat quarters for the boxes, and so we didn't get them for the April boxes. I was like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna have? And then it just kept growing and getting busy and everything, which was amazing. So because of that, I've been able to employ a couple more people. My mum's coming on board next month. She's retiring from being a practice nurse for the last 30 plus years, and is going to come and help pack the boxes and everything. So that's really nice.
Oh, that's lovely.
And like I said, we've been able to move into a bigger studio where we're now hoping to start having workshops and things as well. So yeah, so exciting.
That's so exciting. I mean, I was thinking that the main problem would have been the suppliers. So that's really interesting, because with your subscribers going up and your suppliers were kind of, that must have been very stressful.
Only that first month. Luckily, the next month, everyone sort of got into their groove and sort of figured out what they were doing, and they opened their warehouses back up. But fat quarters we had the biggest problem with, because so many people were buying fat quarters to make face masks. So they were all sold out. So the only thing we could do was buy fabric and make them ourselves.
Yeah.
Which is an insanely huge undertaking. It's
absolutely
just crazy. So we were
weren't allowed in the warehouse yourself, so you were doing that all?
No, luckily the warehouse that we had at the time, and the same now, it was we were the only people with the keys. So it was like It was called, the place we were was called Base Point, and it had lots of offices and standalone units, so we could get in. It was just sort of, you know, trying to do go as little places as possible.
Yeah.
So I did most of that April at home, and was sort of a week and a half overdue sending the boxes, and then obviously the post was all really slow as well.
Yeah.
But luckily everyone was so amazing and so understanding, so it was
so
okay.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all so surreal, isn't it? Every time I talk about this, I'm like, what is this movie that we're talking about that happened to our life?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, very strange. But I would really love to know, you know, for anyone that doesn't know as well, your sewing story. So where did this all start from, and how did it build into the business that it is now?
Oh, my sewing. Do you know what? I don't hugely remember when I started sewing, or like, I remember doing textiles at GCSE. I was really lucky that our school did textiles as a GCSE option. But I knew how to set up a sewing machine, and I knew how to sew a seam, but I don't quite remember how I knew that. Obviously, my mum will have passed on some knowledge, and my nan sewed as well. And then I did textile GCSE, and decided for my final project to make a full-length dress out of stretch velvet.
Amazing.
Which was a disaster, and I remember not knowing anything about grain line or anything like that, and it was all wonky and twisty, and it put me right off.
Oh yeah, stretch velvet is a nightmare.
Yeah, don't do it. And then I didn't really do any sewing after that, and then I went to, what happened next? It was after uni, and I started getting interested in sort of 1940s, 1950s style. But sort of going into the vintage shops, they didn't have anything in my size, so I started following people who sewed and made their own dresses, and thought, oh, I'll give that a go. Made a sort of a full skirt, circle skirt and everything like that. And then it was around that time that the first Sewing Bee started, and the rise of Tilly and the Buttons and her first book, and I made myself pajamas. Excuse me. And yeah, so that's sort of how my personal sewing journey started. And then when I decided to turn it into a business, I was working in a day service for adults with learning disabilities and autism at the time, and was sort of feeling like I was coming to the end of that chapter, but not really sure what I wanted to do next. And my husband Andy ran his own business, and I was getting very jealous in January, leaving at 8 o'clock in the morning and scraping the ice off the car whilst he was having a nice hot tea, still in his dressing gown.
It always looks more glamorous on the outside.
Yeah, it's not that glamorous, it turns out. I'm still up at 8 o'clock in the morning scraping ice off the car.
Of course, yeah.
And we had, like, subscription boxes at that time weren't a huge thing. They weren't very well known. But we had subscribed to one of those fruit and veg box schemes, and that, I think they were kind of the first company, or the first sort of thing that started doing subscription boxes. And my husband very handily is a web developer, and we were talking about it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I remember we were driving home from somewhere in January 2016, and talking about how I was sort of not enjoying work anymore, and I wanted to start my own business, and I'd love to have a fabric shop, but how much that costs to open a decent fabric shop in a good location. And Andy said, well, could you do some kind of subscription box like that fruit and veg box we get? I'd love to build a website for a subscription box.
Oh, good husband.
I know, so handy. So yeah, it was actually all Andy's idea, and I just executed it.
Oh, that's so lovely to hear. Those car journeys, I know how they go, where you just suddenly start talking about something and it just goes from there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is amazing. And did you kind of already kind of have in your mind how you wanted to set it up, or did that kind of build over time? Or
it built over time. I had a few different ideas of what it might look like. what we might put into a subscription box. I remember thinking that I would trawl the charity shops and send everybody something to do a refashion, because the refashioners were such a big thing at that time.
Oh, yes.
And then I sort of thought, actually, that's no. But I did like a small business course on a Beautiful Mess website. They had a little business course. And yeah, just kind of did some market research, and yeah, it just sort of gradually got to the place that I wanted it to be.
Amazing. I think I got your first box, didn't I? Didn't me and Megan were one of your first?
Yes.
We did our blog about it. Yeah, and it has changed so much, because obviously I got one this year, and it's so lovely to see how much it's developed, because it was already brilliant. But, you know, adding the magazine, what a beautiful touch. I mean, it's so lovely, it's so personal, and it gets the community involved, and it's wonderful.
Yeah,
so yeah, when did that come from?
The magazine?
Yeah.
You're never going to believe this. This was Andy's idea as well.
Yeah, exactly. No, I totally understand all of my good ideas for Stephen.
Yeah. He comes up with the ideas. So Andy is an ideas man. He comes up with about 20 new ideas a day. And then I just sort of go, oh, yeah, I'll take that one.
Yeah.
And I'll forget the rest. He's had some pretty harebrained ideas, but I was originally writing little postcards with little notes on them to all my subscribers, but as it started gaining traction and getting more subscribers, my wrist started to hurt quite a bit, right? Those little note cards. And I was still doing them when I had Mia, and she was overdue, and I was like, right, I need to try and write postcards for this month and that month and that month, all in one go.
Wow.
Yeah,
you'll have carpal tunnel.
Yeah, it was getting a bit crazy.
So then the idea of, wait a sec, we could have this printed and keep it as personal, and that's so lovely.
Yeah, and get more people involved. You know, every month we have a make of the month, so I sort of trawl Instagram and Facebook, and people send me emails with the things that they've made, and they write a little bit. I have a subscriber profile, so I pick one of my subscribers each month to find out more about them. I send boxes each month to Gemma, Laura and Esther, who make something in advance with the fabrics, so they can show off what, you know, inspiration. And then Tamlin gets the fat quarters as well and does a little project for us. So it's a real, and I interview the businesses who have products in the boxes as well in the magazine. So it's a real sort of community magazine.
Yeah,
and
really is.
I would love to make it bigger and better, and it's just having the time to do that kind of thing.
Of course, and that must have been a real learning curve, you know, going from working with fabric shops to suddenly working with actual printers, and and how did you just sit down and research the whole thing, or did you already know the kind of people you were going to go with
in terms of printers and things like that for the magazine?
Such a new
thing. So because I was already getting the note cards printed at one place and sort of business cards printed somewhere else, and we have a couple of graphics designers that we work with who do all the design work for the magazine and advertisements and things like that, so they had a few contacts as well.
That's brilliant.
And it was kind of figuring out who could do the best job in the least amount of time and things like that. So yeah, it's
amazing.
interesting.
And you said your team's grown quite a bit, so how many are there of you now?
So we've got sort of two teams. There's the sort of my box packing team and my writing team. So on box packing team is sort of evolving at the moment. So I've got Bruna, who's been working with me since just before Mia was born. She actually started as a volunteer. My sister has been helping for the last couple of months, but because she sort of does seasonal work, so she's gone back to the farm where she works now. She was supposed to be working this week actually, but she's got COVID, so
oh, sorry, Hayley.
So yeah, if anyone's local and wants to come and pack some boxes this week, let me know.
And where are you based? Remind people.
We are in a really gorgeous small village called West Wellow, which is near Romsey, right on the edge of the New Forest in Hampshire.
It's so lovely
it's beautiful. It's nice and peaceful and quiet. And the drive, you sort of turn into, it's on an estate, and you drive through a couple of paddocks, and there's sometimes deer in the fields as we get to the, yeah, it's gorgeous.
Oh, I love it. It's so idyllic. And I love the fact that it's such a family affair. And is Mia is she starting to muck in and fold some fabric and stuff yet?
Not yet, but she does. Sometimes she sort of looks over my shoulder when I'm on Instagram, and she goes, "Mummy, that's your fabric," when she sees someone's made something, especially if it's something that I've made as well.
How old is she now?
She's 4 now.
Oh my gosh, it happens so quickly.
She starts school in September. I can't believe it.
Oh, bless her.
Bee's got another year, hasn't she?
I remember the post of you being overdue, and you were like in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And everyone was just shouting at you, "Go to bed, go home, what are you doing?"
No, so I was like, contractions had started, but you know, like the movies make it look like you have your first contraction and that's it, you're in the hospital, and it's not like that at all.
Yeah.
Contractions start, and then it was another day and a half before I actually went into hospital. I was like, I need something to do, and my mum and my sister were at the office cutting the fabric. I was like, I'm going to go in and cut some ribbon or something, and so stopping every 10 minutes as a contraction came up.
Was it a good distraction?
It was, yeah. It took my mind off it for a minute or two.
Oh, I love that. That's brilliant. And so she's showing a bit of an interest in fabrics and sewing.
Yeah, a little bit. She's quite crafty. She likes painting and doing colouring in and things like that. So
that's so lovely.
I haven't
Oh, sorry, no, carry on. You haven't.
No, I was going to say I haven't let her too near to the sewing machine just yet.
Yeah, I know. Bea was in here yesterday getting dangerously close to things, and I was like pushing them further away because she loves to change all my settings on my overlocker.
Oh no!
Oh, pretty buttons. I'm like, oh no, I can't remember where I'm at. So someone's actually sent us a question, which I didn't know you could do. Oh, small smiley. So Mitchie says, when was the last time you both cleaned your sewing machine? Oh gosh, don't ask that, Mitch. I'll let you take this one. You can't.
No.
Yeah, all the time. All the time,
right? Every time I use it.
Every time. But yeah, so apparently you can ask questions if anyone wants to, because I know that people have asked questions and they literally whiz past and it's really hard to read. But now you can actually choose to ask a question, and then it goes in a different little box. So come ask us some questions. Yeah. So what have you got coming up? Well, tell us about your next box, and
next box is, we're working on the April boxes at the moment, and we've just the website is just open today for new subscribers. We'll get their first box in May, and we're also we launched a huge competition a couple of weeks ago to win tickets to a jeans making weekend there. So I've got the gorgeous Charlotte Newland is coming in the middle of May to teach us to make jeans, and I'm giving away 4 tickets because one of them is for me. So yeah, go and check out. There's some posts on my feed and blog and everything.
When does that close? When does the competition close?
It closes on the 25th of April.
Okay, so you've got some time, people.
Got some time, yeah.
And is that going to be your first kind of workshop thing that you're doing in your space? Oh, that's congratulations!
I know, I'm so excited. We've got the sewing machines from Janome coming soon, and we need to get some more tables and get it all set up.
Lovely.
Because everything, sort of all the box packing stuff is all collapsible or on wheels, so we can kind of shove it all to the back of the room and then turn the space. So it's not gonna be an every weekend thing, because I'm not moving everything all the time. Yeah. But hopefully we'll come up with some more. We're kind of going to see how this one goes.
That's a really exciting move from starting with the boxes, adding all the things like the magazines, and now with workshops. You're taking over the world, Hayley. One stitch at a time. That's brilliant. Did you say seam, or what did you say there? Because did we say the same thing?
I said one box at a time.
Oh, box. Okay, yeah, that was better.
Yeah.
I should have said that. Oh, that's really exciting. And have you got kind of like a vision for something that you're like, in a year's time, I want to be doing this? Is there like a goal that you wanted to talk about?
I would love to start manufacturing our own fabric for the boxes.
Yes.
Because that's our biggest sort of sticking point at the moment, is because all the boxes have the same fabric, sometimes in different colorways. But the biggest thing, someone's just said I've just signed up.
I know.
Thank you, Jessica. So yeah, our biggest thing is trying to source enough of the same fabric for the boxes to sort of in keep with the theme. So I've actually been in contact with Lady McElroy about printing sort of an exclusive colorway or on a certain base cloth or something like that. So that would be for the luxury boxes, but we need to try and figure out something for the classic and mini boxes as well.
Oh, that's so exciting, Hayley. That's really,
I know.
Was that an exclusive on Quick Unpick? Yes. I love them. But also, because you did the pattern as well, didn't you, with Simple Sew? Is that something else? Is that something you might do again as well?
Yeah. So I haven't got any clue when it comes to pattern drafting or pattern cutting, anything like that. So, but I would love to have our own patterns, either in the boxes or as like a free download in the newsletter or something like that. So I am on the lookout for a pattern cutter to work with as well at some point. I have a couple of design ideas, but I don't know how to execute that one. So
I'm exactly the same. That is so exciting, though. The sky's the limit, and it's so lovely. The sewing community's been so behind you, but also you've been such an advocate of indie, sellers and everything as well. You've always got everyone that we've heard about ends up in your box, which is so lovely. You must be trawling like Instagram for the new business owners and
all the time. I'm like, come on guys, let's find something new. And I love it. It's one of my favorite parts of designing each box is finding the perfect indie designer, and lots of people sort of say I can design you something exclusive as well, and that's always lovely.
Oh, that is so nice. That's so nice. Right, you've been asked how many meters you get through a month. Wow, I can imagine it's a lot.
So I don't know if anyone saw my stories last week. The fabric that's going into the April boxes, I can't tell you what it is, but we cut nearly 2,000 meters of fabric. Wow. And it created so much dust. So I did some stories like with the Hoover sucking up the dust, because it was actually quite satisfying.
So if you want a fabric business, you get an industrial Hoover, right?
Definitely.
Oh wow, 2,000. That's, I mean, honestly, I just want to like give you a massive applause. That's incredible, Hayley. Like how far you've come. I'm really proud of you. I think that's amazing. It is. It's so good.
It's so lovely, because our first box we sent in October 2016, and we had 14 subscribers that first month. And I don't know if you remember, Gabby, the box
which is
that
a
I
lot
sent
for
you.
a first box.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, I hope we get one or two. That would be amazing.
No, it's huge. Yeah.
And we've had some
remind me what was in it.
That first box, I did an autumn themed box. So I've still got the shirt that I made from that fabric. I don't wear it anymore, but it was a black viscose with sort of autumnal leafy prints.
Yes, I totally remember.
And
with like oranges and browns and reds and stuff.
But it's so funny looking back at the photos that I took and how much my photography skills have come on since then as well. They were terrible, absolutely terrible. We had a big learning curve with the box that I sent you, which I think was the December box. And I thought, let's send something warm and cozy, like a sweatshirt knit. And it arrived and we went, that's not going to fit in the boxes. And I'd had you set up to sort of receive a box, and I sent you a box. I haven't even got enough space. It was
because we were opening it on the podcast, I remember, And oh no, that would have been another one. I think I've had 3 from you now. So yeah, the first one I remember you might.
I think
have
it was one of your
separate.
your Vlogmas
episodes.
Yes.
Okay. That is so lovely. But yeah, and now to think that you're cutting 2,000 meters of fabric, that is incredible. What a ride. So good. And they all fit in now.
Yeah, they all fit now. Yeah, that's always a big consideration. I always try and get some samples before I commit to anything of the fabric that I want and make sure it fits into the box.
Oh, that is so
cotton
brilliant.
jersey is about as thick as we go.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And that's a squeeze. That's a squeeze.
And so are you getting any time to sew yourself? What was the last thing you made?
Last thing I made, I still need to add the buttons, was a Pauline Alice Ibby dress.
Oh,
IBI,
that is
I think.
lovely.
Which I posted on Instagram. I did my first sort of transition-y reel, which I'm so proud of.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's so floaty. You know, you think sort of the Maya Sotis dress and the Wilder gown. It's that kind of so much gathering. And I'm halfway through a pair of linen Heyday dungarees.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, I'm so excited to get those finished. So I am now that sort of Mia is in nursery 4 days a week now. So I'm actually getting a bit more time to make sewing part of my working day as well, which is really nice, because normally I get home in the evening and put Mia to bed, have dinner, and that's it, I'm done for the day.
I totally get it. Yeah. And did you find with clocks that it was like when the clocks go forward, B didn't go to sleep till like 9:30 most nights? It's really tough.
Gosh.
And then
do you know what? Mia was okay. I struggled.
It is. It's a really confusing time. It's like we've just got used to it. Why did they change it?
I know. We've gotten into the habit of going swimming most Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock. We didn't today. I went yesterday instead. And I thought, oh yeah, we'll still do that last Sunday after the clock changed, which actually sort of in my head was 8 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, oh God.
Good on you, swimming every week. That's really impressive.
We've only just started. Mia's started swimming lessons on a Friday morning and she loves it. She's taken to it so well. So I was like, oh, let's get into this properly then.
Yeah, little water baby. I love it.
I mean, it's partly because then I'm like, well, at least she's done some activity today. If we sit and watch movies the rest of the day, it doesn't matter.
We went for a bike ride yesterday morning, and it was like, you know, got back, had lunch, and we're like, so we're allowed movies now, right? We did a bike ride.
Yeah. We after swimming last Sunday, and it was Mother's Day. I was so tired. We snuggled up and watched Nanny McPhee and had fish and chips for dinner. It was perfect.
Oh, lovely. And what did we watch yesterday? Oh, Toy Story. Bee's going for a real Toy Story moment. She goes, if she likes a film, she wants it a lot. So
we've done that. We've done a lot of Toy Story. We're on Bluey at the moment. Bluey.
Oh, so are we. I love Bluey.
I love it. I'm
Do
so
you
happy.
cry at the end of every episode like me?
Yes. It's so emotional. Some of them are so emotional.
I'm literally watching a kid's cartoon and B keeps turning around going, are you okay, Mummy? I'm like, yes, yeah, there's something in my eye. If anyone has kids of any age or doesn't, just watch Bluey. It's like, I think it makes your life better.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really do.
Do you know what? It's actually made Mia's play better.
Yeah, me too. It's made me a better parent. It's like, maybe, you know, I can
what would Bandit do?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, now how can I make this fun? Right, okay, Bluey. And the moment we started watching it, we started like, because B now goes into her bad mood. Do you get what that means? So she climbs onto Daddy's feet and she's like, I'm in a bad mood, and Daddy walks around trashing the house, which is, you know, not great. But it's so sweet how much she's taken to it, and every episode she then acts it out, and it's really it's so
someone's just asked where to watch it. It's on Disney.
Yeah, Disney and BBC.
There's a few episodes on the CBeebies.
Yeah, and it's just enjoy. There goes your day, Mitchie. Oh, thank you so much for talking to me. It's been so lovely catching up with all your news. I'm really excited for everything going on and the future, and good luck with the workshops and your fabric. I'm sure we're going to hear very soon about your fabrics. I think that's definitely going to happen for you. So
I hope so. Yeah. Thank you so much, Gabby. It's been so lovely talking to you.
Oh, thank you. Well, have a lovely rest of your Sunday.
And you.
And everyone else, thank you for joining us. Huge thank you to Rainbow Fabrics for sponsoring Quick Unpick. And they've got another drop today, I think. It's just so much. There's too much temptation, but it's lovely temptation. But yeah, everyone have a lovely day, and I'll see you next week. I've got Paige Joanna, so I will see you for that. Yeah, amazing. I can't wait to talk to her as well. That's really exciting. Lovely. Well, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Hayley. Take care. Lots of love. Bye.